Hey everybody, it's Yannis Pappas coming straight at ya from the Yannis Pappas Hour, where we read the headlines of articles this week and then make up the news according to what we want that news to be. And we make it shiny and happy so everything is beautiful. Create your own reality. Reality is a suggestion. I'm here to serve. This is a symbiotic relationship. I'll tell you what's going on in the news based on the way I want to see it. The only real story I want to tell you about is that former governor Patterson of New York State was assaulted on the Upper East Side of New York City, a very prominent neighborhood. He was assaulted by 4 people, I think 2 adults and 2 kids, an intergenerational assault, which is great to know that the parents are really helping these kids out, you know? Him and his stepson were assaulted, and here's the most surprising aspect of this story, that the former governor, David Patterson, was able to identify the assailants in a Braille lineup. He felt their faces, and he said, that's the guy. This is the Yannis Pappas Hour. We're coming right back, right after this quick rap song.
Yannis Pappas. Yeah. When you all tucked up in the David Long, and the news online going on and on, what's right and wrong, and it's something up. Now here comes a great kid you know you can trust. From the true who's who to the news and cameras, to the fake politics and the propaganda. Yeah, this kid's screwed in, got a lot to say. Oh shit, it's about to be a long day. It's a long day.
It's just tough being a former governor who's blind. You don't know who's around you. You don't know if your security detail just left for a second to go get a Subway sandwich, which is probably what happened. I don't know why the guy didn't have security there to help him out, but it's probably because they just went like this. They went. He said to the other guy, and they said to the stepson, don't say anything. And they just left for a second to go get a quick coffee and maybe a Subway. And David Patterson was just standing there, you know, and he got assaulted. I don't know what it was for. But from what I understand, it was a couple of guys in MAGA hats with rope and duct tape. And they screamed, "This is MAGA country, bitch." That's what I heard. That's what I know. That's my story. And I'm sticking to it. Apparently, these guys were wearing masks and hoods, but they were very well built and jacked. And one of them had a Jamaican accent. So that's what I've heard. He said, "Why you doing, Bray? I need some MAGA country here, boy. Why you doing now? Say bye. Listen, star. Way back to the body, Buddha. Come back again. Boom, bye-bye in a governor head. Rude boy, no promote them nasty man, them mafia dead. MAGA! Booyaka, booyaka, Donald Trumping. Booyaka, booyaka, Donald Trumping. So that's the story. Supposedly, Jussie Smollett is suspected to be behind this attack in order to normalize these type of fun, type of fake assaults, which are better than real assaults. They make the news. Who knows? Maybe David Patterson's going to make another run for governor because Kathy Hochul's got Chinese spies everywhere, in the closet, in her house. Who knows? So Cuomo's trying to make a comeback. I'm not sure if it was Mario or Luigi. Which one was in office? I think it was Mario. So I think Mario Cuomo is trying to make a comeback. I think Luigi is on some network apologizing for his COVID coverage. And that's where we are. But the Cuomo brothers ain't going away that easy. There's no scandals anymore that could take anyone down, you know? Cancel culture, we're post the cancel culture era. Harvey Weinstein, I could have sworn I saw him at the Four Seasons the other night. I mean, I think the guy's fine. I mean, medically, he's not in good shape, but he's a free man. I mean, he's a free man. I mean, he probably went, Your Honor, yeah. Uma Thurman rubbed my back in my robe. What do you want? I made her a star. Otherwise, she would have been a Swedish nanny. She would have been a Swedish Burger King worker or whatever. She was a tall Swedish chick. They're a dime a dozen. All I said is I need a little massage, and I'll put you in Pulp Fiction. Big whoop. Big whoop. Gwyneth Paltrow, okay? I stroked her thigh. What's worse, a stroke of a thigh in a hotel room or her vagina wax candle line? Why is that not in court? I'm just Harvey Weinstein. I'm the guy that gave you some of the most innovative movies in the last 20 years. Pulp Fiction. I'll just stop right there, okay? What else did he do? Inglourious Bastards. I mean, the list goes on.
All of Tarantino's movies.
You can't get the goods without putting a token into the devil's mouth. Michael Jackson, feed him. There's a yin to the yang. And that's what he said to the judge. And the judge said, I loved Pulp Fiction. So you're allowed to go to the Four Seasons until your next charge comes. And I think there's another one. They keep coming. They're like Diddy. But like I said in my stand-up comedy special that's still available on YouTube, Mom Love, in the finale joke, your mom will always have your back. I think Diddy at this point has been accused of 14,079 sexual assault charges and other wise breaking of the laws. But his mother says, this isn't possible. He was a good kid. He had a paper route in Mount Vernon. I don't believe this one bit. And that's just what moms do. I think Jeffrey Dahmer's mom was like, what? He cut up and ate what? Not possible. You should have seen his artwork that we pinned on the refrigerator when he was 4. He is a good kid. I want to speak to the manager of this jail, not my son. Not my son, P. Diddy's. So his mother's coming to his defense. What's the need for the lawyer? Just have your mother up there and go, listen, this is my son. There's no way he did this. He grew up in a, middle class suburban home in Mount Vernon. He was just making his dream true. When he threw Chastity on the floor in that hotel room, you don't understand. She had a yellow jacket on her head and he was trying to remove it. He was trying to protect her from a yellow jacket that was flying up from North Carolina to attack her. How do we know what the true story is there? He threw her down, and he did throw a kick while she was on the floor. But have you ever tried to kill a yellow jacket? You get a little overzealous. Right. Have you ever gotten overzealous with a yellow jacket? You're like, whoa, you almost hit me, but you're swatting. Who's to say that she didn't have a yellow jacket on her head? I'll tell you who can understand that right now is people in North Carolina who are under attack by wasps, okay? In more ways than one. A couple of hurricanes with the waspiest names I've ever heard in my entire life. And I'll say it right off my slice plate. Helen and Milton. Helen and Milton. These names have done a lot of destruction in the world when the Wasps ruled the world. British Empire, the early American, up until the 1950s, before the yippies took control of this goddamn nation. It was all Wasps. It was their country. They were all the presidents. There's only been one non-Wasp president. Can you believe that? Only one. Even Obama, Wasp. Well, yeah, on his mom's side. He was a blosp. He was a blosp, but he was still a wasp. His mom was a Protestant, white Protestant. And, he was a blosp or a foreign Muslim, depending on how much you want to emphasize his middle name. There's ways to do it. You can spell his name Barack Hussein Obama with a lowercase. Well, no, just an uppercase letter in the middle name, H. Or like Trump, you can capitalize the whole Hussein to emphasize that he might be an absolute foreign Muslim. But he was a blosp. All the other presidents have been wasps except for JFK. He was a Catholic. And that didn't end so good. He went to communion and things just went a little off. But that's just how it goes, you know? Things happen. Things happen. And Wasps are now attacking North Carolina. They're just there. So Yellow Jackets are swarming North Carolina. So I guess FEMA's paying for Benadryl and EpiPens. So you just need to give people medicine. There's just medicine. They need the Raycon, they need the Benadryl, they need the EpiPens, and they need new roughs. Some people are missing some roughs. Big scandals about what's going on with the FEMA disaster relief. You know, Republicans saying, they're spending all the money on Ukraine, they're not sending it down. But that doesn't seem to be the case. That seems to be what hit X first, where news breaks. That's where news is formed. You know, it's like you know what news on X is? It's like a comedian in an open mic, working out the bit. So if you want to see news worked out before it's flushed out in an actual real story, you go to X to see it being molded, right? You ever go watch someone work out a bit? You know, that's like really a kind of a edgy bit. And you see him at an open mic. That's X. News working out. It's where news goes to work out before it gets fully formed. And apparently none of that was true. Mayors, Tennessee, governors in North Carolina are saying, stop these conspiracy theories. The money's coming. I think it's $20 billion and $8 billion from FEMA. They're down there. You know, one of my neighbors is on NYPD leave. He's also military. He's on military leave. And he's, you know, New York is sending resources down there. He was telling me all about it. You know, but is anyone on the inside? It's like when I talk to someone in real life and then I look on X, I go like, this is just, people just are on the outside saying stuff, just making stuff up that they just don't know. But that's not as fun. That's not as fun to think that FEMA is sending the money. They're sending some money. Asheville is living up to its name right now. Unfortunately, it's very sad. But can you go back to that picture of Asheville? You sure that's not a picture of Haiti? That's Asheville? Hurricane Helene had its way. Unfortunately, with Asheville, this is very troubling. I think they do tell people to leave, right? But, you know, sometimes they may hop on X. What may happen to some of these people in some of these neighborhoods, Jess, if you understand how the country works, what happens is they may hear on the news, like, hey, we really need you to evacuate like 2 hours north, whatever, just get out of Dodge. They may hop on X and go right to a page that they were following that goes, climate change isn't real. The news never gets the weather right. You're going to be fine. That could happen. I'm sure that happened more than 10 times, maybe, being like, this is going to be nothing. And then when the wind started blowing, you know, they became Dems real quick. I think that makes you a Dem real quick. Just like when you get mugged, it makes you a Republican real quick. You notice that? You're walking around going, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh my God, Khan, oh my God. Break up these monopolies, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And you're walking home from your trivia bar somewhere in some gentrified city neighborhood, and then you just get attacked. You get attacked by a few people, and then after the attack, you're changed. You went from cocoon to butterfly, which means you went from liberal to conservative, and then you have to contend with those new feelings. I think if you're someone who stayed in North Carolina after the TV was telling you to go, and the roof comes off, you might go, okay, I'm a liberal now. What do we got to do about climate change? Because my fucking outdoor TV is gone, and I can't watch the Panthers. But this is tragic. I think we have some death, right? So hearts out to all the people that died. But more than 3,000 North Carolina residents have been rescued or supported by more than 1,200 urban search and rescue personnel. Shout out to those dogs that do that hard work. They never get any of the credit. They don't speak English. They don't know we're appreciative. The National Guard and active duty troops. This is what he was telling me all about. He was like, New York is down there heavy. And then he was telling me about how New York always goes because New York is just got so the resources these other states don't. Republican states just don't have a lot of resources, except for the biggies, I guess, but not even that. Remember when Texas's grid went down? Remember that shit? Like New York kind of springs into action, make things, it's New York. We're there. So New York is helping out big, and they're down there and donating resources. But they're giving people only $750. They've offered them $750. Their homes have been washed away, and there's like, oh no, that's what Trump said. Yeah, and I read that that's not true. And yet we've sent tens of billions of dollars to foreign countries that most people have never heard of. So that is the good line to get people riled up. But apparently that's not true, right? The $750 Trump refers to is what's called serious needs assistance, an initial direct relief payment intended to help cover emergency supplies like food, water, baby formula, and other basics. So he exaggerated a little bit.
Well, they are getting the $750.
They're getting $750, but not for a new house.
Go buy yourself something nice.
Yeah, go buy something nice. The serious needs assistance is one of the many changes to FEMA's individual assistance programs that took effect earlier this year. It also covers, so they also houses needs, residents sort out long-term options. I used to work with FEMA, so I did this, right? When people, 9/11, when I did 9/11 disaster relief. So they'll end up, if you don't have insurance, first of all, you should have insurance because if you had insurance, they'd pay for it. Some of these people don't get insurance because they like to save on it. If you live in by the water, make sure you get insurance, I would say. But FEMA works something out with rent and mortgage and, hopefully they do the right thing. And what advice Vice President Harris said, there's lots of mis and disinformation being pushed out there by the former president about what is available in particular to the survivors of Helen. Harris said, urging people to apply for aid. It's extraordinarily irresponsible. It's about him. It's not about you. And the reality is that FEMA has so many resources that are available to folks who desperately need them. So is FEMA running out of money? Another popular reframe that has gained traction on the right in recent days is claim that FEMA has no money for hurricane recovery because of money spent on migrants. Something that is not true. The money used in the aftermath of Helene and other disasters is not part of FEMA's operating budget, but instead comes from the Disaster Relief Fund, which is appropriated by Congress. Last week, Homeland Security said the agency does not have the funds to make it through the rest of the hurricane. Reportedly said the agency, FEMA is required to share monthly status reports. So what does that mean?
They don't have the money.
They don't have the money.
That's what Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, one of your peoples, right?
But he's not dealing. No, that's Mayorkas?
Isn't that Greek?
No. Alejandro?
Well,
Alejandro. Remember that song? Alejandro. No, that's Alejandro Mayorkas.
is that Mexican?
Cachapa is that's a different thing altogether. That's different for Alejandro.
He got me on the Mayorkas.
Yeah, Mayorkas. No. So I don't know. We got to look at another article about this, but it seems like you will get Benadryl at least. Yeah. You will get some Benadryl.
You'll get $750 and
You'll
some
get
Benadryl.
$750 and some Benadryl at the very least. But I did read a figure that there was 20 bill going down there. Is that true? I did read there was 20 bill. The White House said,
there you go.
Yeah, there you go. So, and a stopgap spending measure approved by lawmakers last month replenished the DRF at last disaster relief fund baseline of 20 bill. Though some of the money is reserved for ongoing recovery efforts from previous disasters and projects to mitigate future impacts. FEMA has sufficient funding to both support the response of Hurricane Milton and continue to support the response of Hurricane Helen. Right. Including funding to support first responders and provide immediate assistance to disaster. So this just happened, right? Dude, have you noticed that as soon as it happens, it's like, let's roll out the politics. Let's roll out the politics. I mean, isn't it like happening now? Another one in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you got to let it play out a little bit before you just start saying that they're not doing anything. I mean, that's tough. That's tough. There's allegations that Trump refused to help California in 2018. Did you read about that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, because it was a Democratic state. He said 2 of his former aides have dropped dime on him. These losers and turncoats. That doesn't sound like him at all, dude. So this is actually slander, because I can't picture him saying anything like this at all. So according to an ex-aide of Donald Trump, Trump refused to give California wildfire aid until told how many people there voted for him. This is from a guy who used to work for him. I don't know. What do you think? Could it be true?
Why not? Even when he's doing something shitty, he's funny.
Yeah.
How many people voted for me?
Former president was flagrantly partisan at times in response to disasters on at least 3 occasions where he hesitated to give disaster aid to areas he considered politically hostile or ordered special treatment for pro-Trump states. Guy's smart. I mean, take care of your own. If you're a Trump supporter, is this something you could picture him saying? Seems to be on brand a little bit. Maybe then he initially did it. Maybe it was a joke.
It was a joke.
Yeah, maybe it was a joke. Who knows? Maybe he didn't say it. I don't think he didn't say it.
He was playing to the room,
Yeah, I don't think he did say it.
Trying to get a laugh.
Can you scroll down? So Mark Harvey, Trump's senior director for resilience policy on the National Security Council staff, told E&E News that Trump initially refused to approve disaster aid for California after deadly wildfires in 2018 because of its state's Democratic leading. He said he changed his mind after Harvey pulled voting results to show that the heavily damaged Orange County had more Trump supporters than the entire state of Iowa, because that's how population density works, which is wild, right? When you think about it, that's wild to think that's how dense California is, that one county in the whole state of California had more Trump voters than the whole state of Iowa. And so then Trump was like, okay, we went as far as looking up how many votes he got in those impacted areas to show him these are people who voted for him. Said Harvey, who recently endorsed, Vice President Kamala Harris. Liar. Oh, along with more than 100 other Republican former national security officials. That's crazy, dude. So there's over 100 Republicans who worked for him that are endorsing Kamala Harris.
Tons of Republicans are endorsing Harris.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy. Both Harvey and Olivia Troyes, a former White House Homeland Security advisor who backed up Harvey's claim, can you scroll down, say Trump approaching Hurricane Helene with a similar mindset. They say he's politicizing a disaster that has killed more than 170 people. That's tragic, 170 people in 6 states. And Troy, who has endorsed Harris for president, accused Trump of trying to divert attention from his own political liabilities on disaster responses. I mean, I'm brand. I'm brand a little bit. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to support the people who don't support you? Isn't that choice? Isn't that America? That's what it is. If this is true. Is it true? We don't know. It's a he said, she said. On Monday, Trump turned to visit a flood-damaged Valdosta, Georgia, into a partisan attack. He falsely claimed the Biden administration and North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper were going out of their way to not help people in Republican areas, and that GOP governors couldn't get that president on the phone. You know what that's like? You know, it's like when you cheat. You know when you people say that when you cheat and then you get paranoid the other person's cheating, you're going, why is that on your mind? Why would you think someone would do that? Is it something you did? That's what it sounds like. But who can trust the media, dude? I'm not at that place where I trust the media right now. I trust Elon Musk when he says that if Kamala Harris wins the election, he's going to jail. That's what I trust. He's going to jail on some trumped up charges. And Trump is his only option to stay out of jail. It seems like it might have been said in jest. He's been jumping around a little bit. He got on stage. He attended a rally with Donald Trump, and he started jumping. I don't know what song they were playing, though. Were they playing Mac Daddy Make You Jump? Was it Crisscross Make You Jump or Jump Around by House of Pain? Yeah. His shirt was flopping up, and it looked like he might have taken a couple of uppers. He might have been taking a couple. Dude, Elon Musk, where does he find the fucking time? Here he is. He's got no coordination.
He looks like he's at a music festival.
Yeah, he looks like he's at a music festival. He's jumping around. He's excited. He's got a Texas belt on. He's a kid from South Africa. He's very excited. He's very excited about what's going on. And he was jumping around. And the video is even funnier when he's actually jumping. He goes out there jumping around, you know, like it's the Super Bowl and they just came out of the locker room. You know, they're heading out on the field. He's jumping. He's like, he's psyched up. And then he went up there and he said, we got to do this or else it becomes a one-party system like California. And they're throwing me in jail. And they're gonna just throw away the keys. So it's his only hope. He's telling people it's his only hope. The Democrats are they're importing migrants to vote, and Kamala Harris was on 60 Minutes, and that really stumped her a little bit. That question really stumped her. They were like, "Why did you wait 3 years to do that?" And she almost said, "Because we wanted to flood those swing states with Democratic voters." You know how it works. They're culturally conservative Hispanics, but when they first get here, they love the Dems because we take care of them and then we set them free into the world to become Republicans later. And then we need to get fresh ones in. She almost said it, but she got stumped a little bit on that question. Like, so why did you let it happen for 3 years? And she said, well, you know, there's a lot of burdens from the past, but I'm not trying to be unburdened in the future. And that's just how it's going to go. I'm unburdened by what has been, but we don't have to carry those burdens into a very bright future. So she really would not answer that question. It was a tough question. Give her credit for sitting down 60 Minutes. I don't think Trump has agreed to that, but they asked her some tough questions, 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes is the only news show left on television. It really is. It's like when we watch that guy, the father of AI, the godfather of AI, who created AI, and he goes, finally, for the first time, I think there's something more intelligent than us on the planet. And when he said that, I was thinking, but is that really that hard? Like, how intelligent is AI then? It's more intelligent than what we're hearing on X? I mean, how intelligent is that then? Is it a threat, really, to be more intelligent than humanity at this point?
Pretty low bar.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe they're just setting a standard for us to get back to, you know? Maybe that's all AI is doing. Harris responded by pointing to congressional Republicans who backed out of a bipartisan agreement on a border security bill negotiated by Oklahoma Senator James Lankford. Donald Trump got word that this bill was afoot and could be passed, and he wants to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And he was just like, but what took you 3 years to tighten it up? Because now they're all tight on it. She does own a Glock, though, and she has used it. She also said she'd have a Republican in her cabinet. She's going on that like old school John McCain vibe, right? Like work across the aisle, get things done. It's a good message. I haven't heard her bring up DEI. It's just only those Donald Trump commercials where she clearly says, just like, put the transgenders in the women's cells. She's changed her positions a bunch of times against fracking, for fracking. She's changed. She was pushed on that as well. And 60 Minutes guy was like, a lot of people just don't know you because you've changed your positions on all these things. And she's like, I'm about compromise. I've traveled this country. I've listened to people. And we want to bring it together. You know, I'm about solutions. Good old school stuff. So what are we doing here? Is it the old baseball rules of politics, or are we going with the shot clock? Are we going with the pitch shot clock, which is Donald Trump, trying to bring us into this new wrestling era of fucking promos and digs? Who's going to win? It's really old school versus new school right here. And Elon Musk made a joke, a very responsible joke about assassinating Kamala Harris and how it would be pointless because, you know, she's just a part of the Democratic machine. In other words, you can't stop it no matter what. They'll just put somebody else in there. So Elon Musk is really fucking with people's Tesla stock. That's the main story. He's really fucking with people's Tesla stock. Where is it right now?
Let me see.
I mean, where is it?
Not bad.
Are we okay?
$244 a share.
Yeah. I mean, listen.
Depends on where you got in. If you got in at 4, you're not happy right now.
Listen, I just want the first gentleman in there so he can bang something out and cause a scandal. And that's what it'll be. 13 states have banned TikTok. Bipartisan attorney generals. They're suing TikTok, alleging it's harming kids and is designed to addict them. Where's your proof? Where's your proof? Sorry, 14 states. 14 attorney generals filed lawsuits alleging TikTok runs an unlicensed money transmission business connected to live streaming features. Lawsuits suggest TikTok enables sexual exploitation of minors and operates like a virtual strip club, lacking proper age verification measures. They're just trying to get them on what they can get them on, right? Because you can't prove it's addicting them. Not until the suicide rate is 96%. And then that's what it takes. How long did it take tobacco? Like they knew that, right? Like in the 70s? Like wasn't that known?
Oh, yeah. They know.
Yeah, they're going to lobby that away. I mean, tech is going to just lobby that away. Just like, yeah, no, keep the people are having great, enriching, enlightening conversations in those comment sections. Engagement is a big part of our business model. It brings people together under fake screen names, and they get to know each other. For example, one would say, fuck you, you suck, you should die. And the other one would say, no, you should die. And it's a great way for community building. What we're doing is a lot of community building, and this stuff doesn't carry on in anyone's psyche at all. It's totally good for developing brains. They're learning a lot about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict through dance videos and 14-second AI-manipulated clips. They're learning a lot about Ukraine and Russia. They're getting into the nuance of situations 1 minute at a time from strange accounts that nobody knows. And we think that's a beautiful thing, to give children options on what to believe. And that's what it is. Our user base is 6 months to 14 years old. Is the majority of our subscribers are 6 months to 14. Otherwise, mature adults who can make their own decisions. And so be it. So be it. So be it, baby. And I know what Jesse's thinking. What's next, right? They come after TikTok. Next thing you know, we're going to be sleeping with dogs, and they're going to let them marry them. And, you know, if they do any gun regulation, then they're taking Kamala Harris's Glock. It's all slippery slope, baby. What's next? Slouching towards Gomorrah. Judge Robert Bork, he put it in a book. The Supreme Court, old Supreme Court justice, he said, what are we going to do? First, it's the bras that go off. Then the next thing you know, they're cutting their penises off. Okay, he called that one. Next thing you know, it's Gomorrah. Okay, he called it.
You kind of called it.
Okay, so you banned TikTok. What's next?
Your
What are they going to
YouTube
come
channel.
after? They're coming after YouTube channel. Then they're going to come after your meditation apps. Then they're coming after Audible, your book reading. And then they're coming after Amazon, which they are. They're coming after all these things that have made us a less isolated, more mentally healthy society. We're just in that time period right now, like right before everyone agrees on the regulation. You know, it's funny. You see it happening with Khan already. We mentioned it on the bonus episode, patreon.com/Yannis Pappas Hour for our weekly bonus episodes. We mentioned it on that the bipartisan support of the FTC chair, Khan, to regulate and break up tech monopolies. Like, you're starting to see it because everyone, I think, has kids, and I think everyone's seeing it in their home, and they're just going like, how do we control this monster? Dude, when I talk to parents about like, what do you do on social media? They all rub their head like it's a rub their head thing. This is a universal thing. They rub their head and they go, I don't know, you know, you do this, you put the filters on their phone, and then their friends' parents don't put the filter on the phone, and then they're on Snapchat, and like, you know, and I put a tag on her. I know where she is, but then she came home and she said, "What's Hamas?" And I said, "I don't know." And then she came home and she said, "Why is Netanyahu blowing up suburban areas in Beirut?" And I had to explain to her that he claims that they're Hezbollah strongholds, but she goes, "But my friends are saying that they're murdering innocent people." And she goes, and then the parent had to go, "Yeah, I think they are, but I'm not sure. I'm not there. I'm reading it sixth hand. None of these reporters are there. It's a war zone. You don't really know. War is bad. It happens in the world. You're never going to be able to sleep again. You're 12. There are monsters. Monsters are real. Santa Claus, I know you saw on TikTok, Santa Claus isn't real. I can't control the rearing of my own child. What can I do?" And parents just rub their heads and they go, "We don't know what to do. We don't know what to do." But there's one thing they all agree on. It's fucking horrible. That's the one thing. I've never heard one parent say to me, "Yeah, you know, a lot of people are complaining about it, but you know, my kid just watches unboxing videos because they want to, and nothing crazy comes across their algorithm. It's just unboxing videos, Bluey cartoons, and they've learned Mandarin. So that's good. That's what they've chosen. That's what the American culture that has conditioned these kids to want has manifested in what my kid wants. My kid just said, "I want to speak 4 languages. I'm not interested in what's going on in Gaza. I'm not interested in the October 7th atrocities. I'm not interested in the atrocities of Israel's war afterwards. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in espionage and that Chinese hackers are listening to everyone's calls. I'm not interested. I'm interested in learning Spanish." And that's all I did. So I have yet to meet one of those parents that are like, "I don't know what everyone's talking about. My kid now speaks 6 languages, learned how to fix a roof, and can, knows how to do trigonometry, and he learned it all on YouTube." That's not what I've heard. You're probably hearing a lot of that in China, for better or worse, because the kids just don't have the options besides entertaining themselves with learning trigonometry. And that's it. You want to do some downtime stuff? You got to play. Probably the funnest thing you can do in China on the internet is play chess. They probably let the kids play chess, and that's about it. There ain't no dance videos. It's called Bite Dance, but the dancing ain't happening in China. It just ain't happening. So it's an issue, you know? It's an issue. And 14 attorney generals are getting together, starting these things. These will go on for 20 years until the suicide rate of kids between 7 and 12 goes to 96% because they just can't handle the horrors of the adult world, which they shouldn't be privy to until they're at least in high school. It was starting to creep. We started to become a little more aware in high school, right? But we didn't pay attention because news was so localized. And when it came up, we're like, boring. Where the girls at? You know, that was just kind of the mentality. Let's go play basketball. Let's go to the courts. Now these kids are like, just like, oh my God, Cher, you may God, you know? And then they're like having these targeted bully. They get into these friends groups and like 15 of them are in there and they're all in college in the group. One girl does something and then there's just the 15 of them in that group just coordinate to just freaking isolate and ostracize this girl. And she's got to see it. She's got to see it all. Well, you know what you did? You know what you did at that party? Frank was my boyfriend. And the other people go, yeah, you know what? I side totally with Melanie. I side totally with Melanie. I saw what you did. I saw what you did, Katie. And you know what? You're a whore. You're a little whore girl from Mississippi. You're a little whore girl. And you're going to be a whore from now on. And then they see her in the hallway. Hi. And it's all in her brain, you know? And they just fucking torture her. And that's it. And that's how it goes. So this is like 2 weeks in a row where we've talked about states doing lawsuits. Last week, I think we mentioned Arkansas was giving it a whirl. But these tech companies got massive resources to fight these things, right? So good luck. Good luck, 14 attorney generals with your lawsuits. I don't know if it's going to happen. Parents will be a little disappointed because I think parents do want more regulation of social media. Probably a vast majority of parents are going, yeah, I don't know what to do, but we got to do something. But Todd Phillips didn't help anyone with the Joker. He didn't help anyone. He was like, this one, we're going for a different audience with this one. We're going to mix incel porn with a musical. And that's what happened. And it's bombing at the box office because the fans of the Joker are not into that. They're not into that. I don't know what kind of demographic market research Todd Phillips was doing, but it seems like he, I think he went to San Francisco and asked, what do you want me to do with the second Joker? And they were like, make it a fucking musical with Gaga. You know? And he was just like, okay, that's what we'll do. I mean, you know, he's like, what happened here? What do you think happened here?
I don't know.
What do you think happened here? I heard the whole thing is a musical.
Yeah, it's a stinker.
Yeah, they made it into La La Land.
Yeah.
I
mean,
mean,
the first one is tough to watch.
The first one is so disturbing
It's
and
really
tough to
disturbing.
watch and stupid. It was a good movie you could watch once, but not even really. You
Yeah.
watch it and you're going like, I wish I didn't watch it.
Exactly, yeah.
And then
So they went, let's make a musical.
let's make a musical. Isn't that kind of like
Let's
if
do the complete opposite.
yeah, what if it was like the Jason, you know, remember Friday the 13th?
Right.
What if like the third one in the franchise was just a musical?
A song and dance number.
Yeah, I mean, they did throw him in space at some point.
true, yeah.
So maybe they just went a little too early with the musical.
Yeah.
The musical could have been like when they know they jumped the shark, when they know there's
Right.
nothing left on the bone.
You got to wait till Joker 13 to
Yeah,
do that.
Joker 13, you do the musical. When you know there's no meat left on the bone. But there was probably a lot of meat left on the bone here.
Sure.
But it's a musical.
Well, I did see.
If they put it on Broadway and did it as like a joke, like that would be a funnier thing.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, that would have kind of worked. I haven't seen it. I don't know anything about it except what I'm reading in the reviews and what Tim was in it
Oh, yeah?
and what he posted the reviews. The reviews are so funny. It's just like things like this. Who benefited from Joker 2 bombing at the box office? Everyone else.
Everyone else who's not a fan,
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
we all benefited.
Yeah, I love the name too. Joker Folly à Deux.
Well, Well, you heard the conspiracy theories, right?
No.
That the studio did this on purpose because they didn't want Joker to become too popular with the incels.
But then why would they spend $1 billion on it?
That's why it's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I don't think that's true.
I think it was just a bad idea.
Yeah, I think it was just I think they were just like, Todd Phillips, you're a genius. I think it was one of those, like, Todd Phillips, fucking comedy director, gone like dark noir, Joker. Love it, love it. You know, it was that meeting, like, whatever you want to do. Whatever. And he was like, give me $1 billion. And they're like, fuck, this is going to be huge. Gaga's getting in. Gaga's in. Gaga's ready. She's ready to stretch her range. Okay, Gaga's ready to be like, you know, the female Joker. She's ready to kill. She's ready to fucking get Batman. Let's do it. Like, come on. We're going to gather up all these fucking incels and we're going to fucking ravage Gotham together. And she's ready. She's ready to stretch. She did the musical one with Jeff Bridges or whoever that was, Steven Seagal, whoever that guy was, you know. They sing the song together, Make You a Star in the Country. You know, that one. She did it. She did it. Gaga is looking for a challenge. I got off the phone with Gaga's agent. This is one of those Hollywood things where they're going, we got Gaga. And you're going like, oh my God, huge name. But that's probably what's going to tank the movie. But, you know, it's the Hollywood execs. Maybe they pressured Todd Phillips, like, Gaga's in it. Maybe they said, Gaga wants a musical.
Right.
And Todd Phillips was like, no, we got to cut off. He's got to blow up shit. He's got to stab someone in the eye with a pen. He's got to do that weird laugh. And they were like, Gaga wants a fucking musical for all her little monsters. And how's Gaga fans responding to it? That's the thing. They probably looked at the socials, which is what they do now. And they go, Joaquin Phoenix isn't on social media. Gaga has 14 trillion followers.
Her little monsters.
Her monsters want a musical. This is a coup. This is a coup of monsters. And that's it. And that's what we're doing. This is a good line. It's nothing shy of a disaster. There's some good news, though. With a little consolidation to WB, but encouraging for the state of the theatrical industry, over which DC's latest disappointment, it left plenty of room for just about everything else in the top. Meaning this was great for the other movies.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they thought it was going to dominate.
Yeah, it was great. It was great movies. It still topped the charts, but this is like when Vince McMahon did the XFL. Remember, like the first week, it blew away the ratings, and then it just drops off because it's a shit product.
Well, the first one was a hit. First one did really well.
What, Joker?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. And then this is the XFL. Yeah, this is the XFL. It didn't get nowhere near the first film's 96 million opening. I think they spent $1 billion on it, right?
No.
So
it could have spent $1 billion.
they spent a lot of money on it, dude.
Like those Marvel movies cost a couple of $100 million.
Yeah, so not $1 billion. You're right. I'm exaggerating.
Unless Gaga had a mega contract.
Yeah, they're going to make their money back, right?
They will, yeah.
They'll make their money back, but it's not going to be a huge moneymaker. But it could be one of those things that people go see it just to see how bad it is. That could be it too.
I'm kind of curious now.
Yeah, now I'm curious. I wouldn't have watched it unless it was a musical.
$200 million to make it.
So it cost $200 million to make. So they're going to make that back, right?
Yeah, they'll make it back.
They'll make that back in licensing or whatever. But also they got to spend on marketing and all that stuff. So I don't know. Do you go offline for a little while if you're Todd Phillips, or what do you do?
He's chilling.
He's chilling, right?
Yeah.
This almost feels like it was on purpose.
Yeah.
It almost feels like something's up.
He just wanted to kill the franchise.
Maybe he just was like, he watched that first one and was like, what did we fucking do? It's like creating Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
And he probably saw the fans going, yeah, we need to do that in real life. Yeah. Let's stand on these cop cars.
That's the conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
They want to cause outrage in the streets, create a bunch of mayhem.
Well, it's the only thing that makes sense. It seems. That's the only thing that makes sense. So that's what it is. No superheroes coming to rescue and no heels coming to rescue. Joker was a heel turned hero to some, and they killed him. They killed the Joker.
Oh, is that what happened at the end?
No, they killed
they
what
killed
people
the
love
franchise,
about the Joker. So, hurricanes, bombs in movie theaters, nannies getting knocked up.
You didn't really talk about that.
He knocked up a nanny.
You did it in the first segment.
Yeah, I mean, he knocked up a nanny. I mean, what do you want? The guy knocked up a nanny. It's what people who are busy and have access to nannies do. He knocked up the nanny. She dated Montel Williams. They're even. The first gentleman, the potential first gentleman of the United States, Kamala Harris's guy, the first dude, he's apparently got a pecker and he used it on his nanny. And so that's it. That's what I was referring to. That's what busy guys do. They get what's closest to home. And if you are a woman, you must hire a Polish nanny over 65 because Kamala Harris's husband banged out the nanny from a previous marriage, but that was not her jurisdiction. That was out of her jurisdiction. She couldn't prosecute it. So it didn't happen in San Fran. It didn't happen in her jurisdiction. She does have her Glock, though, so if he fucks another nanny, we could have some violence in the White House. Guys, YannisPappasComedy.com for all tickets to see me live. West Nyack, New York this weekend, October 11th through the 13th. Still a few tickets left. Pasadena at the Ice House, October 24th. Brea Improv in Brea, California, October 26th through the 27th. St. Louis, November 14th through the 16th. Portland, Maine, November 22nd to the 23rd. Fort Worth, Texas, November 29th. Dallas, November 30th. Milwaukee, December 6th and 7th. Bridgeport, Connecticut, December 13th through the 15th. Austin, December 20th through the 22nd. Very special shows. Get your tickets if you're in Austin. And then, of course, Rochester, Tempe, Springfield, Missouri, and San Diego after that. Patreon.com/Yannis Pappas Hour for our bonus episodes weekly. You're going to love them. Want to give a shout out to Jared Z, exclusiveautoshipping.com. If you're moving your car out of state or you bought your car out of state, go to exclusiveautoshipping.com. Student and military discounts apply for you guys. Also, for the free.art. If you want to know about musicians and bands in Hawaii and shows, go to forthefree.art. Lots of good stuff there on that website. Also, natelinder.com for all your marketing needs across the digital landscape. He will help you monetize. He'll help you profit from digital advertising. He'll boost your numbers, not just clicks, okay? Revenue, new customer acquisition. Hit up Nate Linder at natelinder.com. Think marketing, think Nate Linder. DisplayPros.net. These guys are the real deal when it comes to custom trade booths, retail fixtures, promotional items. Check them out at displaypros.net. Tell them I sent you for 10% off your first order, and they'll make something nice for you. Rebels-Raiders.com. Shirt designs available on the website. If a shirt features the word goat, the proceeds will go to support an animal or goat rescue. This is one of the most interesting men in America right now. Backpacks and plate carriers are currently in development and are expected to be available by late December. Good news. Pre-orders will open sometime in November. Buy some shirts in the meantime to show the whole world that you understand nuance and the practical application of firearms. I like this guy. As always, Rebels, Raiders' ultimate goal is to burn a Lambo deep in the Hollywood Hills to prove how pointless this really is. We got to get this guy enough money to buy a Lambo so he can burn it. Is there anyone more disappointed in the second Joker movie than this guy? He says, did you get the shirt I sent? I don't know.
Did you?
I don't know. I don't know where he sent it.
Oh, he might have sent it to my old address.
Yeah, so maybe check. All right, what else we got? Suds Auto Spa, Bridgeville, south of Pittsburgh. Call them up, 412-564-5033. If you want automotive longevity services, check them out on the gram for some car porn. Suds_auto_spa. They will travel. The bigger the job, the farther they will travel, but they're in the Pittsburgh, Bridgeville, south of Pittsburgh area. And PCB Tech Art, my favorite. If you're tired of your phone sliding around in your Chevy Silverado or GMC Sierra, grab their slim phone charge adapters and stay powered on the go right now. You can get them on Amazon as well. But for all you golf junkies and businesses, check out their custom ball markers. Add a little flair to your game. And if you're the next great inventor, PCB Tech Art's got your back with 3D printing for your prototypes. Hit them up at PCBTechArt.com. Use the code Yannis10 for 10% off your order.